C Dave, man, what you want to yap about, brother? Hey, thanks for coming up, Lincicle. What you want to
I'm
yap
just,
about, fam?
I'm just saying, man, y'all too, man. Y'all got some bad takes. Y'all on the bad take today, man.
Name one.
So again, I would answer the question that old boy ran from. Like I think Jones asked it. Like, so what is it that
Hey, yo,
men,
hold on, Seabass. Don't make me call no rads, bro. Don't make
no
me call
pads?
no rads.
No pads. Tell her she can stay where she at.
Go ahead,
but,
man.
but on
Appreciate
the
you,
real,
James.
so again, when we talk about the accountability, what we're talking about is accountability. First and foremost, is being accountable for yourself. All right, we're not talking about oppressive systems. We're not talking
What does
about
that
all
look
of this
like,
stuff.
C Dave? Don't look. Don't
I'm
dance
finna get
around it.
into it.
Don't skirt. What does that look like?
I'm finna get into it. So when men say we want women to be held accountable, there's a couple things that we're talking about. We want them to be accountable for their mouths. We want them to be accountable for their attitudes. We want them to be accountable for their narcissistic behavior. We want them to be accountable for their emotional abuse. We want them to be accountable for holding our vulnerability to them and not using it against us. We want them to be accountable for how they treat their children. We want them to be accountable for how they treat us. So those are the things that they can control that we want them to be accountable for. We want them to be accountable for the way they communicate. We want them to be accountable for the way that they talk to us. So those are all the things that goes into being accountable. So once women like
Can I ask
get
you a question, C Dave? Are women not accountable for all of those things?
not all women, no.
No, not all women.
You're
Nothing
right.
is all. Nothing is all. I'm asking you this. Listen to what I'm
As
saying.
a whole,
Yeah, when women do any of those things, are there
mhm,
not natural consequences that occur from all of those things?
such as
If a woman is being disrespectful to her man, God forbid the man becomes violent, but let's say wouldn't the man leave her? Wouldn't they argue? Wouldn't he push back? You know what I'm saying? Like, aren't there natural consequences to all
but
of these things that
but the
you're saying?
argument so the argument, so even if she disrespectful and all that stuff, and the argument ensues, that's not what men want. We don't want to argue with women, right?
That's a
Men
fucking
want.
lie. That's the
Hold
first. Hey,
on,
brother.
man. There is no man in here that's wants to sit up there and argue with their old lady every day. That's the
All
exact.
men want to do is argue with their women. That's all we want to
What is the
do.
biggest? What's the biggest thing that men said that they want out of their
Public.
woman or
Please
out
tell
of
me
their
no rads
relationship?
is in. Please tell me no rads is in the request. Please tell me no rads is in the request.
No
Yeah,
past.
hold on.
No
Go ahead,
past.
C Dave. Let's see Dave go. Finish. I
No,
need
the
C Dave to
biggest
go
thing
off.
that men, the biggest
No,
thing
hold on,
that.
C Dave. I want you to run it back.
Okay.
I want you to run it back. Tell me again what you want women to be held accountable for, please.
Okay, so what I said is the things I said, a couple of things I said that women should be held accountable for, that what men want women to be held accountable for is one, their mouths, their attitudes, not being a safe space, being narcissistic, being abusive, both physically and mentally, being what I say, argumentative. Those are just some of the core things that men are talking about when they say be accountable. So being accountable means that you are accountable for your own personal actions. That's it.
Listen, C-section. I don't know if you
Yes.
remember this or
What's up?
not. I don't know if you remember this or not, but we all had a lovely conversation with your beautiful wife. And right
Mm-hmm.
now you are talking out of your ass like nobody's business. You might not be in front of your wife right now.
She would tell you the same thing.
No, she
Wait,
won't.
no, Raz, what was
No,
his
she
wife
won't.
saying? Because we've been trying to get his wife on the line for a minute.
Oh, she won't get on. His wife is lovely. A
I
lovely,
bet.
lovely
They
woman.
wives always be nice and
And
pleasant. I'll be
and
shocked.
and C-section is acting out of pocket right now because his wife isn't around.
No,
I
my
know he
wife would
would not talk like this in front of his wife.
no pads. So my wife would. So this was a conversation me and my wife had. Right. These are the things that we talk about. These are the things that she exemplifies. So like if my wife is wrong, you know what she says, baby, I'm wrong. I take accountability for me being wrong. How is it that I can help you, or what is it that I do, or
So
what
so
exactly?
But
wait, but see
that's
that.
being an
Wait.
emotionally.
So y'all making the wait, see there. So you're making the so women do that. In your own personal experience, women already do that.
My
So what are
wife
you
Because
does
talking
that.
about?
he's not going to
But
talk all that
trust me,
shit right
that's
now.
why I married her, because she's one of a kind. My wife does that. Not all women did that.
My wife does that too.
Okay, again, so that's your wife. The majority of the women that I have dated and been around, none of them did that. This is why I married her.
Appreciate you, Mercedes. But wait,
Why are you
brother.
surrounding yourself with emotionally immature people? Like, if I'm wrong, I apologize. I own it.
Because I got to choose better, and I did.
Where
So,
did you,
I mean, how
I
many
chose
people have
better.
you dated that you're talking about women like in such a generalized way?
Well, this is all general. Yes, I am talking about. So again, when I'm speaking, I'm not saying that every woman does this. We can't say every and all.
No. We just talking about in general, right? So can I ask you a question, C Dave? Because all of those things that you said men do to women 10 times worse, right? But that's neither here nor there.
Men do it too, absolutely.
I know, but men do it 10 times more. Like you talking about, brother. You want to talk about using vulnerabilities against their partner? Men do that's we like that's like breathing. That's like breathing for us. We do that shit all the time. All the time. That's what men do all the time. Men,
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Of course they do. But you know what's crazy about that? There's this show. It's called Couples Therapy. I'm pretty sure we've all seen it, and they post a bunch of clips online, right? But it's on. You can watch it too. But I watched a bunch of the clips. I watched so many clips. I never saw one clip where a woman was laughing at her spouse while her spouse was crying. Not one clip. I saw 3 clips where the men were laughing at the women when the women were crying. Like, you don't see stuff, brother. Women don't do stuff like that. They don't laugh when we cry. They don't. When we get upset, they don't tell us to shut up. They don't tell us to calm. Like, yes, that's not what women do.
And this is what
you know how I know. You know how I know most women don't do that? Because that creates an unsafe environment for women. So I already know right off the bat they have it beyond the fact that they're more they just wouldn't do it because they have more emotional stability and control over themselves. I'm saying physically, there is a threat there for women to not act like that.
Okay, so let me reply to that. So you talking about, so I think we can all agree that most men don't even cry in front of their wives or their significant other, right? Most men don't.
And why not? Hold on, wait. Okay. And why not?
Because it's emotional. It's emotionally vulnerable, and men don't like being emotional.
And we're not vulnerable with our women. That's why it's hilarious.
That's what I said. And why? So let me ask you. You're taking me off my point. But why aren't men emotionally vulnerable with their women?
Because men like you lie to other men and say that if you're vulnerable with that woman, she's going to use it against you.
Yep.
So every man that says that is lying.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes. that doesn't even make sense.
Hold on.
All these men who don't know each other.
C-Day, pause.
Okay, go ahead.
So like literally, if we were to take a poll right now of all the women in this chat, and if we ask them, do you want your man to be more vulnerable, more emotionally available, you know what I'm saying, be a better listener, you know what I'm saying, and so on and so forth, do you think that they would say yes or no?
They would say yes.
I would like to ask you a question, David.
But
I feel like
now let me ask you, Jones. Do you think if we took a poll, well, I don't know this group, but if you took a poll in a room majority of men and you asked them, do they feel comfortable being emotionally vulnerable with a woman? What would the answer be?
They would say
no, because other men told them they couldn't.
I was about to say
because the women did. Not because the women did, but because the men did.
But see,
like women by nature are, as a whole, are nurturers. We're not the ones who say that men having feelings and expressing themselves in appropriate ways is wrong. We encourage it. We want you guys to be emotionally healthy. But for some reason, society feels that being vulnerable and crying is not masculine, and that's far from the truth. Being able to be honest with your feelings is masculine.
It's not for some. But wait. It's not for some reason. Like, we know the reason. We know it's because of masculinity, or the concept of masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah. My argument with masculinity is all masculinity is toxic, right? Because I don't think like every single time masculinity, what is masculine gets played out, it always ends up hurting people. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with that at all. I agree.
Poll is up, y'all. Poll is up. Poll is up in
the top left-hand corner.
Okay, no pads. Let me ask you a question, and this go for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's wrong if a woman tells a man to be a man?
Yes.
Yes. Why would
now how many times?
What does it even mean?
So when I talk
nobody knows what that means.
When I talk about emotional vulnerability, that is one way. So when women tell men, be quiet, blah blah blah, be a man. That's not making yourself emotionally. That's not making.
But see, Dave, I'll give you that.
I would like to ask Dave a question.
Can I jump in real quick?
So, how many times have you heard?
Hold on, Onyx. Let them run this.
Hold on, wait.
So how many times and how often do we hear that in relationships when women tell men, be a man, stand on your truth? Like, that's things that they tell them to do.
Hold on.
I have a really
I'm gonna
important
say
question.
I'm gonna say I've never heard that before personally, but I'm gonna give you that it probably has happened in some relationship, no doubt about it. But the question to you, C. Dave, would be, where did those women get that from?
Right.
Where did they get what from?
Where did they get that idea of telling men, be a man? Where did they get the whole like man up idea from? Did they invent that?
That's what they've been grown. That's what they've been taught to believe.
By who?
Most likely their parents.
Brother, please be fucking for real.
Who teaches them that?
Dave, I have a question for you. It's a two-part question, okay? So the first part of the question is, have you dated someone other than the person that you chose to marry?
Yes.
Okay, follow up. How many of the people that you have dated would you classify as crazy? Would you, when you're describing that person and you're after you guys broke up, at any point in time, did you describe that individual as crazy?
You gotta articulate. What
Okay, so you are the problem. The fact that you even had to hesitate means you are the problem. You are the problem, and you are feeding into women, also feeding into toxic masculinity. By calling women crazy, I guarantee you were the problem. Hearing the things that you're saying, seeing the way that you behave when you're not in front of your wife, you hesitated. And the fact that you had to hesitate, like you had to search through your memory banks and be like, because it could be in your character to do so. You are the problem.
And he did. He was just trying to figure out a way to lie about it. But wait, real quick.
If a woman is crazy, she's crazy. But I ain't never.
Wait. I got to read the super chat, y'all. Appreciate the super chat, Banji baby. She said, "Wait, so a man falling on hold on, I gotta read it from here. Wait, so a man falling on hard times can receive empathy, but women still need to take accountability for being with those men." I think she was talking about the other thing we were talking about with the child support stuff. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Onyx.
Yeah. So C Dave, right? I wanna kind of pivot the conversation in a different direction, right? Because you say man can't be vulnerable with women because she'll throw it in his face, right? I will say from my own personal experience, that's not true, right? Like, 'cause I'm not just talking about when I've dated. I mean, like even female friends I have, right? Like I've cried in front of my friends and they don't hold it against me. They don't throw it in my face, right? But I'll accept that dating and friendship are two different things, right? So I'll take it further and ask you, okay, if you can't cry in front of a woman because she'll use it against you, right? Why don't you go and tell your boys, your homeboys, your emotional situations, your problems you're going through? Can you cry in front of your male friends?
I can.
I mean,
you know why I can cry in front of my male friends though? Because I don't care what they say. Maybe that's just me. Like,
well, no, I was more so asking, generally speaking, because my male friends, and I'm not. I do care about my male friends, say, because they're always in support of me, right?
But for what I'm saying, I'm saying I can cry in front of them, but also like, because if they were to like try to like shame me for it, I'd be like, you know what I mean? Like I'd be like,
I feel you. But I'm just saying the idea that you can or can't, right? So see, Dave, do you or are you able to communicate your emotional issues with the male friends in your life?
I can, absolutely.
Okay, so when you communicate that with the male friends in your life, right, do you communicate it in the same way with the same level of clarity that you do with the woman that you're dealing with?
As far as clarity, yes. I mean, it may be delivered a different way, but yes, as far as clarity,
cool.
absolutely.
So, yeah, we're getting somewhere. What about the delivery has to be different? And I'm asking you a question of necessity. Right? Because you said that the delivery is different. Why is it different?
So when I'm talking with my homeboys, we have a different type of bond. We talk to each other differently as opposed to how I'm talking to my wife. So for example, when I'm talking to my wife, I'm maybe a little bit more soft. I may use a little bit different language, but when I'm talking to my homeboys, we talk like homeboys talk. You get what I'm saying? But the nuance of what I'm trying to say, the vulnerability of what I'm trying to say is still there.
Okay. Fair, right? Fair. One last question for you, right? Because the way people respond to things depends on the delivery of the thing they're responding to, do you think if you did communicate those same emotional situations with the women in your life the way you do your homeboys, right? And in that instance, treated them as a friend instead of my girl, because like your girl should be your best friend too, right? You should be able to come to her and talk to her. So if you communicated in the same way, do you think women would not be receptive to that?
Absolutely not. I would not be able to talk to women the way I talk to men.
Why not?
You're saying that as a statement of fact. I'm telling you that that's not true because I've done it, right? So I'm asking you, why can't you do it?
Yeah. Why you say that?
The reason that you can't, do it is because the way you talk to men typically is more abrasive. And a lot of times women may not be able to comprehend, or they'll feel attacked or offended by when you talk to them that way. So, for example, let me see if I can come up with an example.
Wait, Time out. See that. Hold on. See that. I'm sorry, brother. I'm gonna let you get an example. I'm just a little confused.
Okay, go ahead.
Little confused. Are you telling me, because you're saying that a woman would feel attacked, right? As if maybe you actually weren't attacking her or actually being abrasive with her. She feels that you were, right? Which means you probably are. But are you telling me that men are not, like, you can be abrasive with men, like men are less sensitive when it comes to this stuff? Because that is about to be the wildest shit I've heard today. Like, are you serious? Men are what? Men are what?
Stop trying to figure out what else. You trying to
This is
figure
what
out
I'm
what
saying.
I'm
Listen,
saying.
I'll put it to you this way. You can't tell men anything about, especially about themselves, but you can't critique men. You can't say anything that disagrees with men. Men will straight up disown you, bro. Like, the
So
quickest
you
way
mean to tell me you talk to your wife and your friends the exact same way?
for the most part, yeah.
Okay.
I just told you, C-Dave, I talked to...
and maybe y'all two do, and that's fine.
I do.
C-Dave,
I do
But
1,000%.
the way I
I
talk to
talk to
my
everybody
wife, the
the
way
same
I
way.
talk to my friends. Is
Wait,
totally
can I real quick, C-Dave.
I mean,
Have you heard
I'm trying
that?
to figure out how I talk to
Have you,
language.
C-Dave, have you heard the adage, you treat the janitor with the same respect that you treat the CEO? You've heard that, yes?
Yeah.
I apply that principle to literally every human being in my life. Why? Because just because a woman has a vagina between her legs does not mean she's not a human being, right? If that specific woman cannot handle the way I'm communicating to her, my emotional situation, it's not because she has a vagina. It's because that specific woman and I are incompatible with how we communicate, right? And I have never in my life been in a situation where every single woman I try to communicate to, like I do with my boys, my friends, is like, nah, I can't hear it that way. Because like the statement that men are more abrasive with the way we communicate with each other, that is one, subjective, two, it's relative, and three, I wouldn't even call it abrasive, right? Like if my boys say, bro, what you doing? You got to get up off your ass and go, go in the gym, right? And like you might say, oh, you can't say that to a woman, right? You can't say that to a woman. I have to a friend. And you know what she did? She laughed because she knew I cared about her and loved her, right? The delivery only changes if the person themselves is not compatible with your communicative style, right? And that is not a gender-based thing. It's not. And in my experience, it hasn't been. And so you are like setting up this barrier of I can't talk to women this way. I can only talk to them that way, right? And like that isn't getting you anywhere. That is resulting for you the issues that you're talking about.
How's it
And
not
I'm
getting
telling you,
anywhere? I'm cool over here.
wait,
Like I'm cool.
Dave.
You know what I disagree with about men?
So I'm cool with my homeboys and I'm cool with my wife. So how's it not getting me anywhere? So for example, let's use your example. I may tell my homeboy who I see slacking on his physical appearance and say, like you said, hey bro, man, you need to get off your ass and go to the gym, right? I'm not going to say that to my wife. I'm going to say, hey baby, listen, look, I might sit down and I'll be a little softer with my wife and say what I need her to get her to do or what I'm seeing. But I would
tell
not
your wife
tell
that
my
she
wife,
needs to go to the gym?
I would not tell my wife she needs to get off her ass and go to the gym.
No. I'm saying in any way, shape, or form, you would tell your wife that she needs to get up, that she needs to go to the gym?
If I see her slacking, yes, absolutely. Because I understand. First thing you have to do is you have to understand.
Did she tell you?
Let me
Did
finish.
she tell you to get?
You a bold brother.
Did she tell you to get hair transplants though when you went bald, Dave? Come on, bro, for
No,
real.
she told me.
Wait,
So
hold
she
on.
told me
I
to go
wanna
bald.
find it. I just want to point out the fact that
Can
you
I
sound a bit
finish? Can I finish what I'm saying?
Go ahead, please.
So
'cause I
again,
got
so
a
my
couple
wife
things
was the
to
one who
point
told
out.
me to go bald. But so for thing is, when you have a spouse, right, and when you have a friend, you know what their tendencies are. You know what they like to do. My wife is an avid gym goer. So again, if she didn't go to the gym, she stopped going to the gym. That's one indication I know something is wrong, right? So the first thing I would do is ask her, is she okay? Is she depressed or something like that? But if nothing else, she's just being lazy. I was like, hey, babe, you need to get back into going to the gym, right? That's what I would say to her, and she would take that. It would be no different that she could come to me and tell me something that she know I like to do. Say, hey, I don't see you doing this. You're not enjoying stuff. It seems like something you need to do this. that's going to be a different. The way that I deliver it to her and the way I deliver it to my friends are going to be different. We do
Free
that
that
with
woman.
respect.
Free
Dave
that
is
woman.
But
talking
you
all that
telling a
shit on the
woman
internet.
that she needs to do anything is wild. Like the word need is wild. But I want to also point out the fact that you just listed a couple of things that you wish women would do. And you said to stop mentally and physically and emotionally abusing men. But you're up here fighting for the right to be able to abuse women
Church.
verbally. And you also said that women were the ones who had smart mouths, yet you're saying that men have smart mouths and women can't take it. So which one are you saying? What is the actual point that you're trying to make? Because it seems like you're contradicting yourself up here. I also want to talk about the list of things that you
Oh,
said,
well, you
but I'm
said
gonna put
oh,
a pin in that right now. Go
well,
ahead.
yes, right. So again, talking about smart mouths is a lot different than whatever you're talking about. The way I talk to my friends. So again, I can be smart with my friends. We joke around all the time. That's how we communicate, right? We joke like that. So again, I don't joke how I joke with my wife, how I do my friend. Like, I don't understand what's so hard about the concept of that. The way I talk with my friends is different than the way that I talk with my wife. Most people do it. Y'all five on here don't do it, and that's okay. It works for y'all. But a lot of
Dave,
people do it.
the issue isn't that it's your wife. It's the issue is that because you're looking at your wife as a woman, right? Because there are plenty of men who do
That's what
joke
she
with their
is. What
wives.
I'm supposed
No,
to look
no,
at her like?
Dave,
She's a
hear me.
woman.
Here, Dave, hear me to understand, not to react.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, please. There are plenty of men who do absolutely joke with their wives the same way they do with their boys. Why? Because that's their wife's humor style, right? It has nothing to do with her gender or sex. She's a human being. So if you joke, like for example, you have female friends, yes? That
He
was a
gonna say
question.
no.
You have female friends?
No, C Dave
Most
doesn't
times I
have
would
female
call them
friends.
friends.
No.
I know some females who I'm cool with, but
D Dave do
no.
not have
Okay,
female
so
friends.
I have friends, like actual friend, people I can call at 2:00 in the morning, and it's not a booty call, right? Like it's, I need to talk about some stuff, or do you need to talk about some stuff? Right? I have friends, okay, and so when I'm joking with my friends, I've said some off the wall shit, not being like mean, but just like funny, right? And they will bust out laughing. Why? Because we understand each other's humor. It's not gendered, right? It's this woman would find this shit funny, so I said it and she laughed, right? What I'm saying to you is you are automatically assuming I can't talk to my wife this way because she's a woman. Not because I've tried and she showed me, nah, that don't work for me, right? But because you're like, she's a woman, she's my wife, I can't talk to her like that. That's the issue that I'm trying to bring to you. And you're saying it like I can't communicate with women in this way. And I'm telling you, plenty of men do it every single day, right? And the reason we do it is because we actually look at women as people first, women second, right? And so, like, yes, I will absolutely not do certain things around women because I know that might be taken the wrong way, right? But I don't do it initially because they're women. I do it because I've tried some. They said, oh, no, that's not cool. Okay, cool, right? But like, if you're just going to assume every woman is going to respond negatively to this, then you are treating them not like people.
So, all right. So, with all that you said, then you just admitted that you do talk to men and men and women differently. The only thing that you do is that you tested it out with women and figured out it didn't work. But at the end of the day, you talk
Oh,
to
you
your men
didn't
and you
listen.
talk
You
to
still
women
didn't
differently.
listen. No, you still didn't listen.
Okay.
Okay,
All
Jay,
right.
I'm gonna say it one
Hey,
more
the
time. I'm gonna
survey.
say it one
Hold
more
on,
time.
y'all.
I'm
Wait,
gonna
real
flow.
quick. Let me do the survey. The
I'm
survey. I forgot I
oh.
forget. I think the question was, would you want your man to be more vulnerable? And 100% of women said, 100% of people who responded, which I'm guessing were women. It was 138 people said yes.
Go back to that after Onyx is done because I have something to say about that too.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it one more time for you, C. Dave. No, I did not say I talk to men and women differently. I said I talk to the person differently. If the person I'm talking to can laugh at it, can joke or whatever, man or woman, I'm gonna talk to that person that way because I'm gonna be my authentic self with everybody. Right now, yes, you can argue that. Well, for certain relationships, like an authoritarian relationship, like with my parents, for example, I can't talk like that with my mom, right? But it's not because she's a woman; it's because she's my mom. The level of respect has to be different. Same thing with like a boss, right? But like at the job, I'm gonna joke with everybody the same way, man or woman. I'm not gonna make sexual jokes at the job or sexual jokes at the job because we're at the job, right? But like if we're at a bar, I'm gonna make the same joke. If the people laugh, they laugh. If they don't, they don't, right? But I'm not looking at it like I can't say this because you're a woman.
Do you
That's
think
never
that
how
works
I've
for
done
all
it.
men? You think that works for the majority of men? So
It works
don't.
for the majority.
let's take the
Yes.
job part.
Emotionally
Let's take the
mature
job
men,
part out of it.
yes.
Let's take
I
the
don't think
job
it
part
works
out
for
of it.
most
See,
Let's talk
men.
women
about the
as
Like,
role.
humans,
hold on,
no, it
y'all.
doesn't work
Okay,
the
go ahead.
same.
Wait. I don't think it works for most men because most men, like No Raz was saying, aren't emotionally mature. So yeah, I don't think it works for most men. But could it work for most men? Absolutely. If most men were emotionally matured, I think it could work for us. But I will say, it's like having, we were talking about, like, I think what I just kind of hit on it too is like, when you're at work, you don't make sexual jokes because they're, they could be offensive, and more than likely are offensive, right? But you also shouldn't make those jokes at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you also shouldn't make, because if they're offensive to people in the world, they might be offensive to people at home, right? Like, and I'm just saying that, like, certain jokes, certain things, right? Or making, like, anti-LGBTQIA jokes, or, like, anything like that. It's like, most of the time you probably shouldn't be making that joke. But a lot of people, they mask, when they're out in public, and then they come home and they take the mask off, and then they become, they morph into who they really are, and who they really are is a bigot, a bigoted asshole. And it's like, maybe we shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, maybe we should work on not being bigots at home. And that way we could have these conversations with everybody all the time, right?
So,
In the
public.
same way.
So, public. Have you ever made a joke that you at home or in the presence of your friends that you wouldn't say at work?
Of course.
Okay, so that's what everybody does. So are you putting on masks? Is everybody in your family putting on masks?
I am. When I go to work, absolutely, I'm asking.
Okay, so fine. So then we can all agree. So the analogy that you made makes no sense then, because we all do it, right? We all quote unquote code switch when we go to work, and we come home and we're chilling with our homeboys, or we're chilling with our wives. We make jokes that we wouldn't dare say at work. We all do it.
To make it not offensive.
Yeah, I was like, what did I
offensive.
miss? How did that contradict what I was saying?
It's only offensive if the person hears it. Right?
It's crazy.
I said,
Sir, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody is there to hear it, the tree still fell. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, we can go there. We can go there and see the tree fall. What are you saying?
Nah, bro, stop. You lost.
No,
You're lost in the analogy. Don't get lost in the analogy. But
Can I bring
go ahead,
can I bring us back to the emotional vulnerability statement? Because you said that men can't be emotionally vulnerable to women because I'm gonna say you alluded to the fact that women might weaponize that vulnerability. But I would like to say that I think that men weaponize vulnerability. Like Public
way
said,
more.
like Public
Way
said,
more.
most of the time, y'all, most men, the only time you're being vulnerable to a woman is if you are trying to manipulate her.
Yep.
So when we make the statement, be a man, we're not saying be a man in the sense of be the social norms of a man. It's be a grown adult human being and be real about what you're saying. You're being manipulative, you're lying, you're trying to gaslight me. Be a man, be an adult human being. Stop doing that, because I'm clocking it and you're trying to make it seem like I'm not as smart as you, but I very much so am.
Come out. First
Be
of all,
a man.
how am I trying to make you seem like you know what's smart? I haven't even spoken to you.
You
wasn't saying that to you.
follow. I'm
Okay.
saying the man in the situation. If I'm going backwards and forth with my man and he's weaponizing vulnerability, oh, I'm gonna talk to the lady. Oh, it's because when I was 5 years old, my grandma unalived and I just haven't got. Be a man. Like, stop saying that, because you're playing in my face at this point and you're weaponizing your vulnerability. You're not actually being vulnerable.
Thank
You're
you.
lying.
I love it. I love it when you said that, because she just proved my point. So listen,
I bet she didn't.
Let me say how she proved my point. Let me get this out. Please don't nobody interrupt me. So
50
she
to drop.
gave an example of how a man said that his grandmother passed, that he was going through some emotional vulnerability. Came to her and said, "Hey, my grandmother just passed," and her response was, "Be a man, get over it." That was her response.
First of all, I didn't say get over it.
No, let me finish. How is that not the epitome of what I'm talking about. That
Can
a man cannot be emotionally vulnerable because you're going to get someone like that that tells you to be a man and get over it.
That's not what she was saying, though. See, Dave, she was saying.
Repeat what you said. Watch this.
Wait. Let me take a shot at it. So what I got from what Lynn was saying, and she articulated it perfectly. I don't know if you don't understand English or I don't know what's going on, but what I got from what she was saying was oh no. What I got from what she was saying was when men are being vulnerable, when men are like whining and like, for an example, a lot of women will tell you, and I will also I will
That was very subtle. That was very subtle.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. I will definitely say that this happened. I don't know. In real time, it didn't feel like it, but I'm pretty sure I was doing it for that reason. But no, I definitely was. The only time, like, come to think of it, for sure, with no doubt, the only time I cried in front of my ex was when she was when she was leaving me. That was the only time I cried in front of her. We were together for 6 years. So I met her when I was a boy. I was a teenager to my early 20s. We were together for 6 years. The only time I cried in front of her was when she was leaving me, when I felt like it was ending, right? Mind you, I totally disrespected our relationship, all these things, but I'm crying. Now I'm the victim. You know what I'm saying? I remember bawling my eyes out in front of her. Never, mind you, never cried in front of this girl. Never cried in front of her. I cried in front of her the last like 3 months of us like breaking up, because that's how long it took for us to like really break up, was like 3 months. I cried in front of her like several times, like 3, 4, 5 times, right? That's what women are talking about. Like they're saying like, why do you wait? Why are you only vulnerable, conveniently vulnerable right now? When I'm addressed, like, or when she brings up an issue or whatever the case may be. And like Lynn said, it's like, well, I just, cause my grandmama, when she unalive, I ain't never recovered from that. It's like, nah, like that's when she gonna be on that, like, bro,
Weaponized vulnerability.
stop weaponizing that shit. Man up, meaning be mature, not act like a stereotypical man, like Lynn was saying. Wow. Be a mature person. You could also swap that out with be an adult, right? Or grow up.
How toxic y'all sound. Y'all sound very toxic. This is the most toxic shit I've ever heard in my life.
You don't know what toxic means, C-Dave.
This is toxic. So you mean to tell me this man came to you and told you that he was still suffering trauma from his grandmother, and your response was be a man? That's exactly what the fuck we're talking about.
No, Dave,
let me repeat myself.
How that's going over your head makes no sense.
Dave, let me repeat myself.
That makes no sense.
Let me repeat myself to make it make sense.
I'm the one
who originally made the statement. Please listen carefully. Again, men most of the time use weaponized vulnerability, and it comes in the form of gaslighting, lying, and manipulation. So if you do something to hurt me, you will cry, you'll gaslight me, or you'll lie, or you'll try to say, hey, I did that to you. I'm a crappy person because when I was 5 and I'm now a 45 or a 35-year-old man, when I was a 5-year-old, my grandma unalive, and I'm still healing from that. You're being vulnerable. That might be true, but you're weaponizing that vulnerability because it has nothing to do with what we're going through right now. You're only saying that to trigger my my forgiveness. You're trying to trigger the nurturing part of me as a woman. Empathy, exactly. Thank you. You're weaponizing your vulnerability. So in that moment, I might say, be a man, be an adult, be a decent human being. Don't lie to me because I know what you're doing and you're not being authentic about your feelings. You're weaponizing this vulnerability and you're playing in my face. You're making it seem like I don't see it, but I do. That's what I said.
Okay. That was crazy. See, Dave, you using the word toxic to describe what just happened was wild.
Yeah, that's toxic.